Wrap this thing up. We're still number 8. It's a doozy. It's pretty long. Number 4, we're talking about writing and solving an equation that determines the number of days Diego's father can drive the car without the light coming on. So the light comes on if he is 2 gallons or less. Okay, that's when it comes on. So we're going to solve it for when it equals that 2 gallons. And then that'll kind of give us our limit number, our borderline number, right? So we're going to use this little expression that Diego wrote because that expression tells us how much gas is left in the tank, right? If you're using 8/10 per day, that represents it. And we want to know when that gets down to equal 2, okay? So we have written it. Now we need to solve it. So we're going to solve it over here. So 16 minus 8/10 t equals 2. We're going to treat this 8/10 t by adding a negative. We're going to treat it like it's a negative 8/10. That way we can clearly see the 16 needs to be subtracted from both sides. And that leaves us with a negative 8/10 t equals their difference, which is negative 14. And to find our answer here, we have to divide both sides by negative 8/10. And when we do so, we will find our answer. So I'm going to go to my handy dandy calculator here, and I need to do negative 14, which is how much gas we got to use. Oops, negative 14, no 0 there. And we're going to divide that by negative 8/10. There it is. So 17.5 days. How do I know it's days? Because that's what we just solved for. T represents days. So in 17.5 days of driving, that's a little over a fortnight, 2 weeks, 17.5 days, that light's going to come on. All right, so that's what we've solved for. In 17.5 days, the light's going to come on. So you can drive it for that long without the light coming on. Then when you hit that half day, boom, there it goes. So our answer there is 17.5 days. Now the question is for number 5, write and solve an inequality that does this. Well, the only thing we got to change for our inequality is the symbol right here. We already have all the hard part done. We already done 16 minus 0.8 t. The question is, do we want it to, for the light coming on, do we want it to be under or over 2? Okay, the question says without the warning light coming on. So the light will come on as long as the gas remaining is above 2, right? Because if it's less or equal to 2, then we're in trouble. So we want it to be greater than a 2. As long as that stays greater than 2, we are in great shape. So we've already solved this. We already know that the answer is 17.5. The question is, when this got solved, did that flip around to a less than or a greater than? Okay, so when you solve this, you're going to get t is something with 17.5. The question is, if I plug in a 0 in here for t, is that going to be bigger than 2 or less than 2? I don't know. Let's try it out. If I don't drive the car for any days, I don't get it out of the driveway, right? I don't use any gas, is it going to be greater than 2? Well, yeah, of course, because that's going to cancel, and 16 is obviously, excuse me, bigger than 2. So 0 is a solution. It's okay to not drive the car any days. You would have, the light's not going to come on, right? So 0 is a solution. So if 0 is a solution, imagine your number line here, and your key borderline number is 17.5, way over here. And you know that when you get to that number, it looks like a 12, sorry, that's a 7. When you get to that number, ooh, light comes on, and 0 is a solution. 0 is okay. That means that we shade this way toward it. That means we want numbers that are smaller, 17.5. As long as we drive that car fewer than 17.5 days. Okay? Explain clearly what the solution to the inequality. Okay, so this is where we have to get this. Okay, as long as family drives car